Good morning, noon, evening or night, depending when you're watching this video. My name is Alegende and welcome back to World of Tanks and the NBTT'ay Replay series. A series where we feature the best, the highest experience game of the NBTT clan for each patch. And this patch, it's going to be me inside my T25 Pilot 1. And as you can see, it isn't really that surprising why this particular replay might be the highest in experience, because I'm fighting against tier 10 in +2 matchmaking. And since most of the enemy tanks which I'm going to fire at are high tiers, I automatically get more XP out of it. It's going to be a high amount of experience regardless, but will there be any interesting great plays within it? Of course, otherwise it would be in this video. So of course it is. So facing off against higher tier, it is key to be starting in a defensive position with a lot of angles to assist my team. This position on mine has become one of my favorites, having shots both at the hill as at the islands on the left side of the map, allowing me to quickly get some pot shots off, because this tank, the T25 Pilot 1, is pretty good at snapshotting, especially snapshotting at me, but cannot complain that much when I have the tank myself now. So that is pretty much the main thing that I'm doing. It is peeking from this concealed defensive position and trying to get pot shots off to slowly but surely deteriorate the hit points of the higher tier enemy tanks. But at some point, after not firing for a while, I'm looking further for targets that I can fire at. Making a move to fire at a visible target, but keeping an eye out on that projectile. Because if I overextend, the chances are higher that I'm getting hit. And only one hit with the seemingly not the top gun of the E75, and I have already lost a quarter of my hit points. So keep an eye out on not getting hit. It's even more important if you are bottom tier. So in this situation, I'm just carefully trying to find a concealed path in order to go slightly further and able to hit some more enemy tanks. It's continuously looking around for danger. After firing, I'm looking around, and after getting spotted, I take a bit of extra time to make sure that I'm fully covered from all flanks. So keep looking around, because my platoon mate in the KV4 got shot down by that 114 SB. So I need to be a bit more careful. Get an amazing shot off on the side of the turret of the créme, getting a large amount of experience by killing a tier 10 vehicle in a tier 8. But as you can see, I know that I can easily get crossfired here, so I'm taking a retreat. Seeing that shot hit the rock indicates that enemies do have some kind of chance of hitting me, so I'm not going to stay there. I'm not giving them their chance of hitting me, because in a few more shots and I'd be dead. So back at my original position, which I think is still going to be useful, especially now the E75 is moving up. I'm still here in order to give some crossfire and hold the enemy team off for a little bit. Getting off multiple shots once again. And now I'm going to retreat a little bit further than I normally would, because I thought the E75 would redirect his fire to me. But he didn't, so I immediately drove back. And that way I actually dodged that artillery shot that was aimed at my location. So that's an interesting trick that I didn't even realize I did this game. But I guess I will do that more often. If I think I'm getting focused by artillery, I'm making extreme maneuvers in order to give them a sense of retreating further, driving backwards further or forwards further, and then shortly stopping and going back. But this was a bit accidentally, since the E75 wasn't focusing me. So I'm not sure in what way I can actually pull this off, consciously. So entering a little bit of the end game right here. Both teams are very matched to each other on hit points, but now the Krangwagen has destroyed the Lorraine 40T. I am more confident on moving forwards without getting into a crossfire, and I'm shutting down yet another tier 10 tank. And well, predicted artillery once again. Now I did that consciously. I'm pretty sure I did that consciously this time. Just try to be a little bit more unpredictable for the artillery in order not to get hit. And in order to do that, you really have to go a bit into the mind of an artillery, thinking of, well, now I am moving my aim circle right here. Wait a moment until my aim circle is small enough and then fire. So it's a bit of a timing, and in order to get the timing correct, you do need to know how an SPG player plays. So slowly making an advance, knowing that my team has now the advantage, but I'm still being very careful of the last known positions of the enemy tanks, especially that T-54, who can now easily get a shot off from the back if I push further forwards towards the Soma. So for the time being, if I cannot push further forwards, I'm just continuously checking other flanks in order to see if enemy tanks might have been relocated there or have moved there. But now the T-54 isn't covering the Soma SM anymore, so I can drive further up once again, not getting into a crossfire, especially now that he has died. So getting a shot off once again in the Soma, a pretty sturdy tank. I had a lot of trouble with this one, because for a French autoloading heavy tank, it has some bit of armor. But luckily my S3RV does an amazing power play by just jumping on the Soma. Unfortunately, it does get punished for it by the artillery almost immediately. So now I wait a little bit longer, because I still don't know if the T-30 is pre-aiming my location. But now that he has fired at the Foch, I know it is safe to go further and further. And that's such an important thing, is to take in account when it's safe to move up. It's a bit of a stealth game, Metal Gear Solid style, knowing when the enemy is, well, not looking your direction. So it is easier to make the move further up the flank. But at some point you have to take the risk, and right here I'm taking a bit of a risk here. So by crossing up fully in the open, I do get a shot off, but since I have been so careful, I still got a lot of hit points to trade for these kinds of action. But now I am a one shot for the T-30, but I still can receive one more shot of the SCRV as well. The main problem is going to be the T-30 right now. Going in these kinds of positions is giving my team more and more of an advantage, especially when I was able to spot enemy tanks. So now it is trying to get spots off once again without getting fired at back by the T-30. Trying to peek really carefully around these houses, trying to calculate. And well, at this point I'm getting a little bit stuck, so I'm looking at my team if they are going to do something. So I hope that my EAC Panther 2 is going to relocate across the map in order to spot the T-30, so I know it is once again safe to move further up. It takes a while. Unfortunately, the Jagdpanzer takes a wrong turn and drives right into the open, getting shot down by the T-30, but this once again gives me a small window of opportunity to just move up before the T-30 is reloaded, try to spot and maybe kill the SCRV myself. I do, and get in cover as quickly as possible. But huge mistake here. I'm driving up to the wall of rocks and I almost got destroyed right here because I was a little bit stuck on the rocks. Luckily the T-30 did miss me, and this allows me to be now an absolute nuisance for him when he gets spotted by the Krangwang and I also finish him off. And with that, it's only the artillery. I do have enough hit points to take, well, not a full-on penetrated shot, but I'm still not taking all of the risk and make sure that I controllably take this last kill. So of course this game was an ace tanker for the T-25 pilot, and also getting the Oskins medal for destroying at least 3 enemy tanks that were at least 1 tier higher than me. This alongside with nearly 4000 damage, 5 kills gave me a very nice base experience of 1618. And even without premium account, I still made a profit because I wasn't firing that much gold shell, even though I was facing off against tier 10. I only fired 6 out of the 15, especially during the end, why I really need to make those shots count. But in the end, it still gave me a profit. So this battle is a good example what to do if you are bottom tier in a tier 10 match. And that is not going towards a front line, but searching for a more conservative defensive position in which you can still get a lot of shots off to assist your team. This position on mines really did help, getting off shots on both the way up to the hill as the crossing from the islands on the left side. Also focusing and getting the kills on some of the tier 10 vehicles also did help a lot of boosting those experience numbers. But mainly it is trying to play as carefully as possible, trying to always have some bit of cover nearby, and when you are spotted, make sure that you have that cover from all directions where the enemies are currently at. And if such a position is a bit too risky, when you are despotted or get the chance to get despotted, you can always retreat back. During the final minutes of this battle, it was moving up to finish off the game, but as a bottom tier tank, you really need to make sure that you can move up without taking any shots, and that is by making sure that there aren't any crossfires, no hidden tanks somewhere at the back of the map, or at least have a bit of cover once again between you and those tanks. Or those tanks have just fired their gun, which allows you a small window of opportunity to move further from cover point 1 to cover point 2 in order to move up and push down the final few enemy tanks, which I almost didn't get away with that final shot of the T-30 almost hitting me, but luckily in the end we did manage to survive the battle and get a very good result out of it. And that has been it for this video, so hope you enjoyed it, hope you learned from it, and as always I will see you later.